Title: The Story of Earth, A Journey Through 4.5 Billion Years. In the vastness of the universe, against all odds, one planet has withstood fire, ice, collisions, and catastrophe and still flourished. That planet is Earth. Over the past few billion years, Earth has been pummeled by asteroids, frozen solid, and even collided with other planets. At times ruled by unimaginable life forms, it's truly a miracle that our blue world has survived it all. So let us take a whirlwind tour from the very beginning through the epic saga of Earth. Stardust Origins. Some 4.5 billion years ago, our solar system began as nothing more than a dense, silent cloud of interstellar gas and dust. Then something stirred. The cloud collapsed, spinning into a disk, growing hotter and hotter. At its core, hydrogen atoms fused into helium, and just like that, our sun was born. And so was baby Earth. The leftover material from the sun's birth clumped together into planets, moons, and asteroids. Farther from the sun, these clumps were icy and gaseous. But near the center, in the heat, rocky planets like Earth and Mars began to form. Earth under siege. Early Earth was a violent place. Volcanoes erupted endlessly, releasing toxic gases, hydrogen sulfide, methane, carbon dioxide, forming Earth's first atmosphere. But it didn't last long. The young planet was under constant attack from space. Then came Gaia. Roughly the size of Mars, this rogue planet slammed into Earth with unimaginable force. Debris from the impact was flung into orbit, and over time, gravity pulled it together into what we now call the Moon. Back then, there were no oceans, just steam. But about 3.8 billion years ago, Earth cooled enough for water vapor to condense. Rain fell, and fell, for thousands of years. Oceans were born. And in those oceans, something miraculous happened. The spark of life. About 3.7 billion years ago, the first life emerged, tiny, microscopic organisms living in the depths of the sea. It would be nearly a billion years before some of these tiny pioneers would change everything. Meanwhile, land began to rise from the water. These ancient land masses were called cratons. Eventually, they merged into Earth's first continent, a small one, named Valbara. It was smaller than modern-day Australia, but it was a start. Then came a turning point. Around 2.4 billion years ago, some microbes evolved into cyanobacteria, the first photosynthesizers. They could turn sunlight into energy, and in doing so, released oxygen. Oxygen began to fill the air. But this wasn't good news for everything. The rise in oxygen lowered carbon dioxide, cooling the planet drastically, triggering Earth's first major ice age. Much of the world froze over. Continents collide, life evolves. As oxygen increased, continents shifted. Cratons collided and merged into a vast supercontinent, Rodinia. It was one of the largest land masses Earth has ever known. Life responded. Organisms grew more complex, but then Rodinia broke apart and reassembled again into a new supercontinent, Pannotia. And then, a biological explosion. Between 540 and 485 million years ago, life on Earth transformed in an event called the Cambrian explosion. Creatures with shells, spines, and hard bodies appeared. Trilobites with their alien-like eyes ruled the seas. But life's progress wasn't smooth. Around 440 million years ago, a sudden climate shift triggered the first mass extinction, the Ordovician Silurian extinction. Most marine life vanished. But from the ashes, life fought back. Green Earth and giant reptiles. Around 420 to 350 million years ago, the first trees sprouted from the soil. Soon after, animals crawled onto land. Then came Pangaea, the last great supercontinent, formed around 250 million years ago. But Pangaea's time was marked by devastation. This was the Great Dying, the worst extinction in Earth's history. Volcanic activity, greenhouse gases, and runaway warming wiped out about 90% of all species. But again, life endured. Around 240 million years ago, a new group of creatures took over, dinosaurs. For 150 million years, they ruled the land. Towering herbivores like Argentinosaurus and terrifying predators like Tyrannosaurus rex. As they thrived, Pangaea slowly cracked and drifted apart, forming the continents we know today. Catastrophe and mammals. Then 66 million years ago, disaster struck. An asteroid crashed into what is now Mexico. The impact unleashed global fires, tsunamis, and a sky full of dust that blocked the sun. Temperatures plummeted. The dinosaurs perished. With them gone, mammals rose to fill the void. Rise of humanity. Fast forward to 6 million years ago, the earliest ancestors of humans began to walk the earth. One of the first was Sahelanthropus. They likely still walked on all fours. By 4 million years ago, early humans stood upright. A million years later, they learned to make simple tools. Around 800,000 years ago, they harnessed fire, a game changer. Cooked food, warmth, protection, and perhaps even storytelling around the flames. Then, between 40,000 and 15,000 years ago, all other human species vanished, leaving only us, Homo sapiens. Civilization and consequence. 10,000 years ago, the first farmers emerged. Nomads became settlers. Villages grew into cities. Civilizations rose. Then came the Industrial Revolution just 250 years ago. Machines, factories, steam power, the world changed rapidly. Rural farm life gave way to urban industry. And with it, our population exploded. In 1804, we reached 1 billion people. By 1927, 2 billion. Today over 8 billion and counting. A new crisis. But with great growth comes great responsibility. Today, our planet faces a new threat, one of our own making. Climate change. Rising temperatures, melting ice, vanishing species. The balance that sustained Earth's history is beginning to shift again. Some scientists believe we may be entering the sixth mass extinction. Our place in time. Earth's story is long, chaotic, and beautiful. It's a tale of destruction and rebirth, of extinction and evolution, of silence and symphony. And now, we are part of that story, not just as observers, but as participants. What comes next? That is up to us. If you enjoyed this journey through time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more immersive stories from Earth and beyond.